Wheat Snackers, what's going down? We're gonna interview Tim over here at Champs, and he's gonna tell us about mycelium. We're walking by, it caught my eye. This stuff looks really cool. Tim, what's going on, man?
What's up, guys? So my name's Tim. I've been growing mushrooms for quite some time for personal consumption. And I just launched my business a few months back. We're focusing on rare and exotic genetics, liquid cultures. Liquid cultures are better than spores.
Rare and exotic genetics such as
penis envy. There's various hybrids, albino strains now. There's we have some Thai elephant dungs, Cambodian. So we have some stuff from all over the world. We have some really rare, unique hybrids.
awesome.
And these strains have all been isolated, similar to cannabis, right? You have a weed clone. It's been isolated, tested, proven results. And we also have a grow kit, the Easy Grow Kit. It's basically, we're simplifying the process.
Dude, tell us about this grow kit.
So it's the easiest, fastest way to grow mushrooms. So we offer it where you can inject it yourself. It takes a little longer. It may take 2-3 weeks for the bag to colonize with mycelium. It'll turn white, and then another 2-3 weeks you're gonna have mushrooms. So it's a pretty fast process, and it's also a low risk because the bag is a sterile environment. So it's the safest method for growing.
So you've done all the work for this?
Yeah, I've done trial and error. I've tested a bunch of different recipes on bags. I've grown plenty, for myself. There's also the tub method, but the tub is it's a higher risk of contam because people keep opening the lid on their tub. They're like, are my mushrooms popping up? Yeah, there they go. And every time you do that, you might introduce some bulk.
How much do grow kits go for?
It's $120 retail. There's some other guys doing it, but we're giving you a bigger bag.
Okay.
Because I'm focused on getting a bigger yield, and I'm hooking the customers up. I'm giving you 2 syringes with it, 2 live culture syringes, and a 3-pound bag. And the bag is a little bit larger than the standard bag. Some of these guys use a little bag like this. Well, you don't have much surface area, so your yield is going to be minimal. My bag is about like that, so you're getting a lot more out of it on your first flush.
How much can a person expect to get from a yield?
You could get 2 to 4 ounces dry on your first, so there's flushes. You get one harvest, they call it a flush. You cut them down, you rehydrate, and then maybe 10 to 12 days later, you get another flush. But it's a little less each time. You might get 3 or 4 flushes, but you'll maybe have like a handful or so after that. But it's it's the easiest. Everyone wants to grow, and like I'm doing all the hard work. And we also have another option where we're offering colonized bags. Just like you can buy lion's mane, it's already like colonized in the bag, and you can have mushrooms in 2-3 weeks. This is the absolute fastest method to do it. This is the way of the future. I'm doing all the hard work. That's where the risk is, getting your syringe to the point where it's sterile. I test all the syringes on petri dishes, and once the bag is colonized, your risk is not there anymore. It's much lower because the mycelium wins basically, right? It's a fight of who's going to win, the bacteria, the mold, or the mycelium. Mycelium wins, you're good. And I'm sending you the bag like that, and you're going to have mushrooms in 2-3 weeks, dude.
What made you say, dude, I'm making this accessible to people?
I've noticed when I do shows that there's a lot of people that are new to it. Like, I have no clue. I'm like, it's that simple. There's like a few steps. And with the colonized bag, it's even easier. You don't have to do anything. Basically, just take it out of the bag, set it at room temp, and any lights work. A basic standard light bulb works. You can turn it on in the morning, turn it off at night. I use a 12 on, 12 off schedule personally, but it doesn't really need anything strict.
What's the period? How long does this take?
With the pre-injected bags, it can be like, depending on the strain, some are a little slower. Like the stronger strains tend to go a little slower. But with the colonized bag, you can have a harvest in like 2 to 4 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, and some of the faster strains like Ecuador, they go really quick. You could have it in like maybe 2 weeks.
Wow. Holy
yeah.
If people are running into issues, can they contact you?
Yeah, definitely, and that's why I do recommend the colonized bags. The market's not really catching on to it yet, but
they will.
Because I've taken all the risk out of the problem. It's done. Like I've done all the hard work. That's the trickiest part. And why I want to offer that is because everyone keeps telling me, hey, I injected the bag, it got mold or it's stalled. And that's the most common thing I hear. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna solve that problem.
That's cool.
And I'm gonna do it right because
How long have you been doing this?
About 10 years.
Where are you from, Tim?
I'm from Chicago originally. I'm in Denver now.
Yeah. So we heard is it decriminalized in Denver?
Yeah. So you can't sell it. You can gift it. I can go give a cop a bag of mushrooms and say, hey, here you go, and they can't do much. But you know, the resale thing's probably coming in maybe 2-3 years. There's going to be healing centers. That's the only way you're going to legally be able to, like. It's still not a purchase. It's like they're giving you a service, right? A guided trip service, and you get the mushrooms and you take them there, but you can't take them home with you. So that's about.
What cities have decriminalized?
Well, first it was Denver, but now it's the whole state. The whole state.
Okay, and then we have Oregon.
Yep.
And Oakland.
Yeah, I believe Oakland. I think there's like another city in Cali. Yeah, and I think DC. I think DC as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's.
So is there? What's the vibe like? What's the feeling like? Is there a transition from cannabis? Are people really embracing it in Colorado?
Yeah, I think so. It's becoming normalized. Like it's just a normal thing, like smoking pot now.
Yeah.
Everyone is doing it. Everyone wants it. Yeah.
Where do people need to start? Like the average beginner who wants to just get started.
Right.
How do they get started?
Are you talking about growing or consuming?
All of it.
I mean the grow bags. That's the easiest way.
Here,
Yeah.
you get them started growing.
Yeah.
Where do they get started consuming?
I just say microdosing. You know, that way you can get a feel for it. Like, you know, back when I was in high school, it's like eat an eighth or like split an eighth with your buddy, and like it can be intense. You know, it's
kind of a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say Cambodians.
Cambodians, huh?
Cambodians are, yeah. For me, I don't like penis semis. Everyone's all about those. They're a heavy body load. They're too much body load for me, and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But Cambodians are like a lighter, like more euphoric feeling, more spiritual. You know,
What are the top 3 strains you would recommend?
I really like the lighter, more euphoric, spiritual strains like Cambodia, Ecuador, Hillbilly, and they're also like fairly easy to grow as well.
What about the Mazatec or Enigmas?
Enigmas are crazy strong. Those are stronger than penis semis. They're very.
Those Enigmas are really
They're up to like 2.8 or 3% psilocybin.
Figured that out.
Yeah. Oh god, dude. Yeah. So penis semis, like you're probably like 2%, maybe a little higher. I've had some of mine. I had a couple strains tested. So then there's other species now too. I think that's where the market's going to go. Like I have psilocybin natalensis, 0.3. I had a 0.3 and I was tripping.
Wow.
A third of a gram. So it was equivalent to probably about a gram.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're like the really small mushrooms, similar to like Panolia sinensis, right? They're the little tiny ones, little skinny stem. You don't get much of a yield, but they're just like probably 3 to 4 times stronger than any cubensis strain.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I really like the natalensis. So I really like the effects from it. It's awesome.
What's coming as far as how people are going to consume mushrooms?
I think more edibles and extracts. That's where I'm seeing the interest at. People don't want to eat dried mushrooms. They're like, oh, it tastes so disgusting. So capsules, drinks, and then you also have the amanitas that are going around. That they're not the same though. They're not psychedelic.
Amanita muscaria?
Yeah, it's not psychedelic. It works on the GABA receptor, so it's more of a calming, or maybe somewhat similar to alcohol. Alcohol hits the same receptors.
Okay.
But you got a lot of people who are, selling it and saying it's psychedelic. It's not. You're not. I mean, maybe if you eat enough, you might get some visuals, but it's not going to be the same as psilocybin. So you got all these guys selling that. People are coming to my booth like, hey, do you have that bunk shit? I'm like, no, dude, like, this is real. It's psilocybin, and you will trip, you will get visuals, like, So there's that aspect, and now there's synthetic. There's also, this is one big issue I want to address, that it's bullshit, but everyone's doing it. People are selling chocolate bars really, really cheap, and gummies as well, mushroom gummies. I talked to some labs too, and they're like, we test all the gummies that are out there, they're all synthetic. They're just analogs.
Say it again in case they didn't hear that.
So most of the mushroom gummies out there are fake. They're not real. Get your shit tested. We can test it. There's testing facilities now. People need to stop buying this bunk shit, and it's harmful. It's stuff from China. And do we trust China? They're sending us research. China's responsible for a lot of the opioids coming in. Do you think their production standards are? Do you think they care? No, they don't care. So we don't know the side effects of these analogs either. So there's like so many, you know, tryptamine analogs basically. They're similar to mushrooms, but it's a slight variation. I think most of them are still a controlled substance, but this is what's going on. And you got people that are, you know, they're making chocolate bars with it because they don't have to grow it. They can get kilos of it from China for maybe a few grand or so, and they can mass produce the bars at a minimal cost because they're, get it tested. You know.
You guys know what we're talking about. Everybody knows what we're talking about. We're talking about the bullshit chocolate bars you guys like that aren't real, that you think are real.
One Up and Polka Dot are mostly fake. There might be a real guy that started the brand. I don't know, but you can buy those packages in Alibaba. You can buy them on Amazon. It's mostly bunk. You know, someone might be buying the package and maybe they're putting real mushrooms in it, but I wouldn't trust it. It's just, you know, and that's why we need to legalize it. Like, we don't need that bullshit.
Not only that, when they do legalize it, they're gonna hit you up. How do we find you? How do they find you?
FungiFarmz.com. Farms is spelled with a Z. You can also look me up on Instagram. Farmz 303, FARMZ 303.
Okay. Tim, man, it has been excellent catching up.
For sure, man.